everyone. Time to talk about a book. This is not an easy book to talk about. It is not an easy book to read. If the Holocaust triggers you, then I suggest you stop now and don't read this book. Although the title of the book is sort of a giveaway. The Musicians of Auschwitz by Fania Fénelon. I don't know. The bizarre and shocking story of the death camp's female orchestra. So, I have a love-hate relationship with this book. I love how she put it together. I love her prose, her writing style. But it's about a very challenging subject. And while my family was in Australia from 1920, from before, I think the last one of my family came into Australia in 1920, other families have not been so lucky, and some of their family members would have lost their lives in Auschwitz. So, not an easy book to read, but made easier by the writing style. So, you've got this lady, Fania Fénelon, who is half French, she's half Jewish. I'm cribbing from the back. And she's got singing skills, she's got piano skills, she's got music arrangement skills. And she finds herself arrested for resistance work and then sent to Birkenau, which is part of the Auschwitz extermination complex. And there, she would have died like so many others, but she was chosen for the Women's Orchestra of Auschwitz. I'm having trouble saying that word. It's probably a good reason. So, what she did is she basically took over the orchestra, put her skills to good use, because the people who were there in charge really had very little idea of how to arrange music, and she had some idea, and she got better. I mean, you get better with practice, so they say. And because of her, some of these women are still alive. I only made a handful of notes. So on page 231, so here she is. They've all been taken away from Auschwitz, and they are, I've forgotten exactly where they are, but they're in a camp. They've got to build it. They've got to build the camp. And now you might have heard of Anne Frank. I don't have her book with me, but she was a young lady who hid with her parents in a hidden area behind her father's business. So her father built a little area. You might actually see my hand better if I put it here rather than here. He built an area at the back behind his business, which they entered through. I think you move a bookshelf out of the way and go in behind that. And she was there for 3 years or something before someone turned her in. And so what this says, so here Fania is lying in a gigantic tent, an improvised gigantic tent, and they all fell asleep, some of them lying in several inches of water. And Anne Frank, she later learned that Anne Frank was lying only a few yards from her under the same canvas. So at that time, I don't have the date of that, Anne Frank was still alive. So that was That was a bit of a challenge. Sorry, I'm not about to weep over this because it's challenging. So this is a short story. Yeah, that's me, short. This is a short video because I'm struggling to find appropriate words to say about this. And on page 246. So I only made 3 notes. And as I said, the first one was on page 231. So before that, I was just so engrossed, I could not put anything, could not take the moment to put anything down in writing. So, anyway. Right, here we go. So, the SS had given the order to destroy us and burn the camp, April 15th, 1945. We were to be shot at 3 p.m. The British arrived at 11 a.m. So if they'd come 4 hours later, this book would not be in my hands now. It's how... Sorry, I'm lost for words, but I'm just looking at how something as small as 4 hours can make such a huge difference. So, April 15th, 1945. Yeah, so the war was virtually over by then. And page 248, so only 2 pages later, I'm looking at it. It says actor and spectator. So what she was doing is she was both watching the spectator, but she was also part of the process, which is what happens when you write a book. You become the spectator as well as the actor. So, as I said, challenging book to read. Really good to learn about a different part of the Holocaust, something I'd not heard of before. And now I have to return this book to my mum. She recommended it for me. Sometimes she gives me hard books. Anyway, that's enough. I'll put that down. I don't really want to look at it anymore. It's making me almost weep. Almost making me weep. Both of those. So I'll see you on the flip side, hopefully for an easier book to talk about. Bye.